like beyond fantastic. Just connected with a guy who wants to use our directory, our e-commerce directory platform. He does stuff where he connects around. The more people my connections connect with, the more people I find. Anyways, okay, so what I want from you, please, is to just to tell me basically download all the link. Tell me all the links and sources that you guys deal with in arguing against socialism and for capitalism first.
Well, to be honest with you, I'm not really sure that I can tell you that. I'm not quite. I don't know what this guy is going to present as far as like just the job.
Well, the part also is like that. My main job here is to demo something for you. So, I get it. Oh, okay. then, and then most likely what we'll do is you and I will interview the guest speaker beforehand and download all his information beforehand. That's most likely what we'd want to do. But for right now, I just want to show you. The hardest thing I have is I can't do all the development and then do research and be up to date with all the right arguments and everything. That's hard. So I need to have you give me something. At least here's what I think are the right arguments, right sources, and I can put together all the right content. So you can kind of get an idea of, oh, I see how this works. Okay, so roughly, who are the main sources and arguments and books and people that you guys typically deal with in drawing arguments? Maybe they're all part of the New American. I don't know.
Well, I mean, I guess to be honest with you, first of all, socialism is not like a small category. So say, like, what's the problem with socialism? It's like socialism touches everything. So it's easier to answer what's not the problem with socialism than it is to answer what is the problem. You know what I'm saying? Like,
well, yeah, but I'm not persuaded by that being a problem.
Well, no, I understand.
What I typically do is, what is the current debate right now? What is the current debate about socialism? Who's talking? Who's arguing for things? What's the current conversation? If I walk into a room and there's a big discussion going on, what is the discussion? What's the, in scholarship, maybe you're not too much into this, but in scholarship, you want to look at all the leading journal articles, who are getting the most attention on both sides of the argument. So one way to dial down more for you is like just simply tell me this. Why does socialism not work? Well, I mean, tell like my brother-in-law, I'm a skeptic. Maybe it can, maybe it should. So I'll play that way for right now. Okay, so I actually think that I'm not being real right now for anyone listening or I'm recording. I actually think that it'd be kind of nice for me just to focus on my work and not have to worry about bills. I think society would be better if more people could just do that, like I do.
Right.
What's wrong with that? So wouldn't that be better if my bills be covered? If I had a universal basic income, that'd be great. My bills would be covered. I would be happy. I wouldn't have to work to survive. I could actually build some new creative, awesome things. Wouldn't that be better?
Not quite sure universal basic income is socialism, but it could be.
Well, if it's not, let's do it then. So for universal basic income, right now I'm talking about that. One step closer towards it. So how about that? Why not universal basic income?
So I would say that first of all, well, there's a couple different things that I would say. One, but here's what I would say is the bottom line. You are either responsible for your choices and you have the freedom to exercise choice, or are dependent on somebody else for your choices, and you have no control over those choices. So the more we become dependent upon the government, the less freedom we have, and um, the less freedom, the less choice we have. And so if you care about your ability to provide for yourself, then you need to be in a position where you're responsible for yourself and you're able to make those decisions. Um, if you're willing to give up all of your freedoms in order to have a monthly stipend, um, you know, prison is a great place for you because that's exactly what they do there. They take good care of you, 3 meals a day, and you know, you don't have the ability to make any bad decisions. So um, I really don't want to live in a prison, and so therefore I want responsibility, freedom that comes along with it.
Okay, but why can't we try and figure out not let the medicine go too far and imprison people? Why can't we just give somebody a stimulus check each month? People that maybe qualify for it, or yeah, just that need it. Why not that?
Well, because two reasons. One, you are supporting immorality, and two,
That's
you're
very
weakening.
no. It's very moral to help somebody out. They have no food and now they have food. That's moral.
It's
What do you mean?
actually immoral because in order to give that person food, in order for the government to give that person food, the government has to take from other people.
What if it's just by given by charity
Well, if
without
it's
not
given
taking?
to charity, that's a very good thing because
Okay, so
that's
we
people
could have a
giving their
charitable
own free
system.
will.
We have a charitable system where people pull together money, donations to give to the poor. And that's okay. That's
That
moral then.
already happens. That's what we have. A lot of charities in the world that do that. The Red Cross, feeding different entities across the states. We have Feeding South Dakota in here that gives food to poor people on a weekly and monthly basis. We have a food pantry here in Parkston that receives charitable donations. So that already happens.
Okay, so you're telling me the
The
problem
difference
is forced.
there's yes, there's a big difference between standing on the corner and asking somebody to give you money for a poor family in their community, and that same person waiting for you to pull up to the street light, pulling out a gun and saying, "Give me your money or else." One is voluntary and it's a very much a benefit to society. The other one is detrimental to society.
Yeah, this here's the thing though. I mean, like that sounds right. I would agree with you, but the world's not like that, Mike. The world's unfair and just, and we have been oppressed. Many people, the system has oppressed us for a long time. To right the wrongs, a greater good would be accomplished by making things different now, by changing things, by taking from them who have oppressed us and hurt us to giving to those who have been oppressed and hurt. That would be just.
That sounds reasonable to a certain degree until you realize that there is nobody to take from uh, in order to establish justice. The only way to establish justice is to do what is right. That's what justice is. It's
Yeah,
righteousness.
but justice. I mean, um, so uh, a man murders a mother's baby. So um, is it fine? Well, you can't do anything about it now. You can't bring back the baby. So what should happen to the guy who killed him?
Well, he should
Well,
be punished.
yeah. So, but
Life for life.
even in your school of thought, John Locke would say the essence of the government's job is to right the wrong, is to give back what was taken, to make the person whole. Book one of John Locke, whatever it is, book
Right.
one
A
to make
life for
whole,
a life.
to make
That's
whole.
justice. Yes.
Yes. So we need to make people whole in society economically. They've been marginalized. Black people, whoever's been poor, but not part of your system of privilege, they need to be made whole.
Yeah, and that's the question: is what does it mean to be made whole? I believe the way that we make people whole is by giving them the consequences of their decisions. And so, if I go out and provide a resource for our community, then I should be able to keep the labor and the reward of that service that I provide. If the government comes in and says, you have provided a great service and you have received a great reward, therefore I'm going to take your reward and give it to those who did not provide a service. Um, what we're doing is we're disincentivizing the well-being of society by promoting idleness and a lack of contribution to society and penalizing those who are contributing to society. And that's what
All
socialism
right,
does.
so you're saying that to achieve the greater good that I want, I think we both will agree that we must all agree that doing good for people is good. And you're saying to achieve it the way I want to achieve it, we would be causing harm to people right now. But do they deserve harm to be caused to them? Maybe not. If they've been oppressing, yes. If they've not been oppressing, then no. So you're
But
saying that
the question is who are we harming, right? Because the promise of socialism is that we're going to penalize the rich and to reward the poor. But what we actually see in socialist systems is it penalizes the poor and helps the rich. And so the very thing that we set out to do, we actually do the opposite because the poor are the least able to afford the penalties and consequences of socialism.
there's God. That's exactly right. That's exactly right. Exactly right.
There's got to be a better argument for socialism. Is that what you were going to say?
No. I think it's actually exactly right. Um, the argument that was just made was no. The best argument for socialism is that um, it's not fair. That one person can do things, another person can't. And so basically, what you find yourselves in, Mike, is
I think actually the
a
best
situation.
argument for socialism is that
By the way, your microphone was
not
not picking. You were not using a microphone. Oh, I know that because you were on the phone. Gotcha. Never mind. Go ahead. Well, what is the best argument?
not everybody can contribute.
Yeah, yeah. That's right. Um, if all things are equal, I mean, go back to
And
first.
we have
Go
an
back to our favorite.
obligation to care
Go
for
back to our
those.
Rousseauian person, right? Yeah, and that's charity. The right answer is charity. Forget all this stuff. The right answer is charity. Exactly that. The church should be doing all this, and we
Now, I'll
should.
tell you this. I went in when I was the state coordinator for the John Birch Society over Montana. I went and visited with a pastor and I introduced myself as a state coordinator for the John Birch Society. And he said, oh, I used to think like you guys do. And I was like, what do you mean by that? He's like, well, I used to be about limited government and about personal responsibility and
Yep.
all those things that you guys believe in. And I was like, well, what do you mean used to? And he's like, well, I just don't think there's enough good people left in the world. And so we need to take from the
Yeah.
rich to give to
So
the
that's
poor.
right. Because I even see now where this dialectic was good. Most conservatives don't talk like this. You never get down to really good stuff. So even a pastor who was my age at Santa Monica, he thought basically, well, the problem's too big for just the church. We need the government to do it.
Right.
And that's one part. But more on what you just said, that now we find ourselves in lives now. It's kind of a John Rawls kind of thing. We find ourselves in life now where things are so not the way they should be. Well, that's kind of true. So, you have someone. I was given a lot of advantages, and I wanted. And I think actually the right answer to this is if I was given a lot of advantages, I'm not entitled. I'm not privileged. I should be more responsible for helping other people. The leaders should be responsible for helping others. That's a simple answer. So those who have privilege have more of a responsibility to do more things.
Now,
That's
yeah, I don't
simple the
think
answer.
that's the answer. Uh, so here's what I told the guy. I said, well, um, I said, let me ask you this question. The Bible says that if you take from somebody what belongs to them and you give it to somebody else that it doesn't belong to, that's theft. He's like, well, you can call it theft. I call it personal responsibility.
They should be giving, and if they're not giving, then we need to
Hello,
force Robin Hood.
what are you doing?
Gail canceled our piano.
So you just have to be back at 3 o'clock?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
She asked us to be praying. She lost all the guild money, or like she sent it in the mail, and they haven't got it. So she was kind of freaking out.
Gotcha. The check, or she didn't put cash in there, did she?
I don't know. She didn't specify.
Huh.
But she said it was like $800.
Okay, well, we'll definitely be praying about that. So then I told him, he said, I call it personal responsibility. And I said, well, so I realized that we weren't going to get anywhere on the moral argument. So I said, let me ask you this. Anything that the government penalizes, it's going to get less of. And anything the government subsidizes, it's going to get more of.
Yeah.
I said, so if we penalize labor and we subsidize idleness,
Yes.
we're going to get people who are not working, who could be working, but aren't because we're paying them not to work. I said, what are you going to do with those people? And he didn't have to think but for about 2 seconds. And he says, oh, we're going to throw those people in jail.
Wait, for the what people?
The people who could work but choose not to because we're subsidizing their idleness by telling them, hey, if you don't work, we'll just give you money anyway. I said, what are you going to do with those people? He said, oh, we're going to throw them in jail. And my response was, I said, well, you went from benevolent to dictator awfully quickly. And that's exactly what these people are. They are dictators.
So to sum up what you're just saying, the argument is the proposed solution of socialism sounds nice on the face from the get-go, but the solution to enact what they want to enact brings about a horribly much greater evil.
Absolutely.
And their solution actually doesn't even solve any of their proposed solutions, the proposed proposals, but it creates an uncontrollably evil person who's to try and do good under the guise doing good does immensely horrible more evil.
That's exactly what happens.
Yes.
And really what socialism is it's not about providing for the poor. Because if everybody says we should provide for the poor, and we should use our money to do that, right? Well, then there should be money to provide for the poor, right?
Yes.
Socialism is not about providing for the poor. Socialism is about removing from you the choice of what you do with your money and concentrating that power into the government, taking away from you your money so that I, as the politician who promised you all these wonderful things, can do whatever I want with your money.
Yes. Because why do they want that? What's the desire that leads them to that? It's the belief that your friend in Montana had, that we can do good, we can do better, we can do better. Yeah, right.
The government can do better.
It's the lofty notion that we can do better. Same thing with the French Revolution. They thought they could do better. The same thing with Lenin. The same thing with the Bolshevik Revolution. They thought they could do better. It begins in nice notions, but it leads to a system
that the community knows more than the individual.
That's true, but it leads to a system where you have to use extreme force to try and force people into the system that you think are hoping will produce the amazing results. And so you have to continually force people through force and guns and violence in the system, but the system never is a complete, consistent whole that people want to voluntarily participate in.
Congressman Bob McEwen, he wrote a book called Economics Easy as Pie. And so it's pie is politics equals integrity plus economics. And his point is, well, he has several points, but one of them, he describes all spending. You have first party spending, second party spending, third party spending, okay? In first party spending, you're spending your money for your stuff, right? And in first party spending, you're concerned about quality and price, right? You want to make
Yes.
sure that you're getting the best quality product for the lowest price possible, right? That's first party spending because it's your money. Second party spending is where you're spending somebody else's money for yourself. And so you are not concerned about the price so much because somebody else is going to pay for it, but you are concerned about the quality, right? And so you want a good quality product, less concerned about the price.
But when third party is when somebody else is using somebody else's money to pay for somebody else.
Exactly. They don't care about the quality or right. It's like he uses the example of the swear jar, right? You got the company swear jar, it's got $50 in it, and you got to come down and so we're going to draw a name out, and somebody's going to get a prize, for the office pool, right? And so you go down the store and you just need to spend $50. You don't even care what it is. You don't even care if it's something good. It's just got to be $50. You don't want to spend all day just figuring out how to spend $50, right? So you're just looking for something for $50, right?
Yeah.
All government spending,
Yeah. Yeah.
third party spending. And that is why you will never get government spending our money better than we can.
Right. Yeah. Because you also don't know how to use it and where to give it. Okay.
No
I have
incentive.
I have a great solution. What is a better solution? Not just what's bad about their proposed solutions. What is your proposed solution?
Well, the actual solution is a free market with a charitable people. But let's just say we took away all that, right? Let's just say it was. I mean, we got to have a free market because that's an honest market. But let's say we had a free market and there was no charity, right? And these people are hurting, right?
Yes.
The lie of socialism is that we can just help that one person. Because what socialism does is it owns everybody. In order for socialism to help one person, it has to harm everyone else. If we just let everybody go and say, you know what, we're not going to help anybody. Now, those people might suffer and they might die. They might starve to death, right? And that would be sad. But
okay, give me a proposed solution because we can help individuals, people to people, church to church. I would say make everything local, always local. That's a big solution. Then you bring them in part of community where they have to be accountable, and you help them get back on the right track.
Well, okay, yeah. So I'll give you an example. I'm the pastor of the local. His name's Brandon Rogers.
Is that YouTube guy?
Nope.
Dear Lord, no! You should just no. What? No! Oh my gosh, that guy's crazy.
Is there a Brandon Rogers YouTube guy?
Yeah, it's horrible. Thank God, no one can find me. That's good, but no, that guy's horrible. Oh my gosh, the YouTube guy. Why does she know about that?
You know about Brandon Rogers, the YouTube guy?
That one guy that you watch.
Oh, he's probably thinking of what is that guy's name?
I've never heard of Brandon Rogers. He just looks like it. That guy.
There's a guy on YouTube that you do kind of look like. And
go back to it. Come back to when you can.
So I'm the pastor of the Ministerial Association, yes. And so we do help. We give out vouchers to people for different things, for gas, for groceries, and for food. Or that's, I guess, that for gas, groceries, and a meal. Oh, for hotel. That's the other. Gas, groceries, and a hotel. But I only allow people to get one voucher. And then if you want a second voucher, you have to come to church, okay? Because this is a ministerial association. And I tell people, we do want to help you, but part of learning to make good and wise decisions means getting your family into church. And so I said, you don't have to come to my church. You can come to any church, go to any church in town, but I just need to know that, you went to church and where you went, and then I will give you another voucher. So far, I've never had to give another voucher. They don't want to go to church. So what does that tell you about their need? They're not very desperate.
That's interesting. Yeah, that's probably true. Yeah.
Sometimes hurt
Yeah.
is a great trainer to make better decisions. Sometimes God allows us to go into the valley so we can look up and say, you know what? I need to start making better decisions.
Mm-hmm.
We remove the valley from people and say, I don't want you to bear the consequences of your decisions. We're going to socialize the losses, privatize the gains.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? If you do something great, we'll let you earn a little bit. We don't even privatize the gains. We privatize the gain, or we socialize the gains too. If you do well, we'll give you a little bit of that money and we're going to take the rest. If you do poorly, we're going to give you a little bit of money, but not allow you to succeed. And so
human nature would have to change in order for communism and socialism and fascism to work. People would have to be angels. There would have to be no sin and no selfishness, which is not ever going to happen.
Right. So what we actually do is we purchase people's souls, and we allow them to waste.
Yeah.
And if you look at the Indian tribes, that's exactly what we've done. We've subsidized and said, we will not let you starve to death, but we will not let you achieve greatness either.
Yeah, because the belief that you can put in hard work and bring about something good is what drives humanity.
But it's not just a belief that you can do something good. It's the belief that if I don't do something,
then bad things will happen.
Come.
Yeah. Then what?
Right? Great evil will come.
Yeah, that's right.
Just to give you an example of this, my sister-in-law, just over Easter weekend, my sister-in-law was telling us about this video series they really like watching. And it's where somebody goes into the wilderness by themselves and they do basically a vlog about what's going on in their life, right? And so it's like a survivor show. And so, they're out doing this, that, and the other thing and whatever. And so, some people last a little bit of time, some people last a long time, right? And the whole show is, if you can be the person who lasts the longest, right? And we were talking about this and, just talking about how, what was, different characters that they had watched and what took them, made them quit. Some of it was health reasons, some of it was mental isolation, different things like that. But then we talked about how different it would be if there was a child that was brought into the situation. How much more motivated would people be is if my child is here with me and I have to provide for them versus I just have to provide for myself, right? Mm-hmm. That's a whole different level of motivation, right? And so if I say to you, hey, you can go out and really work hard and make $50,000 a year, or you can do nothing and make $30,000 a year. It's like, well, let me think about that.
Yeah.
I'll do nothing. That doesn't seem like a very good reward. And so that's the problem with socialism. But then as we provide $30,000 to all these people, we are robbing it from other people And most importantly, we're robbing it from the people that we're giving $30,000 to.
Yeah, that's right. That's the biggest. That's the biggest deception. You can't. It's a drug, and you can't. Drugs will not succeed. Okay, tell me about. Let's switch and tell me about the Great Reset. What do you know that's happening in the Great Reset? Just lay out the things that you know that are happening. So just real quick.
Well, so to be honest with you, I really don't know exactly what this lady's going to be talking about as far
No,
as.
I don't care what this lady's talking about. Just lay out whatever's in your head. Let's see. Yeah, because whatever's that you know about. So, go.
And the bottom line is it's moving to a globalist control. It's think of the one world religion. You got global control for our natural resources because natural resources is bad. Global control of our electric grid, healthcare system, global control of our private property rights.
Yes.
Global currency through a global backed electronic currency. Those are going to be the.
Do you think it was planned? That the global reset was planned before all this happened?
Before what happened?
COVID.
Huh?
Before COVID.
Oh.
Before the shutdown.
The John Birch Society stands by two principles. The number one principle is you don't say what you don't know. Probably more importantly, you don't say what you can't prove. The other principle is nothing happens by accident. Everything, in order for something to happen, it has to take a lot of resources and a lot of organization. So hopefully that answers
what's been the agenda of who are the globalists?
Who are the globalists? Well, there's a lot of people that are involved in the globalist movement. I mean, it's
and who have they been? This is not hard to understand.
You got the Bilderbergers, you got Council on Foreign Relations, all those wonderful people.
Mm-hmm.
You got the UN and its many organizations. You have UN sponsored groups.
I'll tell you this much right now. So you see how it's really this topic is so. I'll tell you this much. This topic is so pervasive. This is the job of your viral community and JBS's viral community. All the listeners can then join and curate with the bookmark tool, curate all this research and piece it together. That's the main job. And that's what's amazing because they all know this stuff and it makes them active, makes them excited, makes them part of the tribe, and they're able to do something with this research that's good. Because this kind of resources are hard to gather together, and who's done it? They've written some books on it. Yeah, that's true. But there's hardly a place where all this resources are all in one place. And that's what you can do is all your people they know the stuff, they come across it. They can put it somewhere. That's the best thing ever. It gives them something to do and gets this job done. It takes it out of your hands. And because this all should be one place.
So Ron Paul wrote an article for the New American in 2020. Okay, here we go. Ron Paul wrote an article for the New American on January 4th,
Can
2021.
you bookmark it, please?
Okay.
Is it set up for you?
Yeah. Well, I'm on the Brave.
Yeah. There is a bookmark extension for Brave.
Yeah, I already have that installed.
Okay, good.
Great Reset. Production. Ron Paul. Okay, I did that. So he says that big business would exercise its government granted monopoly powers to maximize value for stakeholders instead of shareholders. Stakeholders include the government, international organizations, the business itself, and quote unquote civil society. The Great Reset will dramatically expand the surveillance state via real-time tracking. It will also mandate that people receive digital certificates in order to travel and even technologically implanted in their bodies to monitor them. It was at the end of the bed in one of those little baskets, but it might be on the floor or it might be down.
In here?
No, in our room. Or it might be down in this dirty laundry. Okay, it says Schwab's proposal for surveillance is his idea to use brain scans and nanotechnology to predict and, if necessary, prevent individuals' future behavior. This means that anyone who has a brain scanned could have his Second Amendment and other rights violated because a government bureaucrat determines the individual is going to commit a crime. The Great Reset involves a huge expansion of the welfare state via universal basic income. It'd be very expensive, increasing the government's debt. This is the latest version of the fairy tale that deficits don't matter as long as the Federal Reserve monetizes the debt.
Yep.
Lockdowns should show the danger of government control over the economy, et cetera, et cetera. So that was what Ron Paul had to say. Alex Newman did an article or they did a whole thing on the Great Reset, a whole magazine on the Great Reset.
Did you bookmark it?
I can.
Okay, please.
Let's see here. This is shifting everything into digital, transformation of business, law, the food supply, governance, and even mindsets. The war on free speech, especially targeting critics and opponents of the Great Reset, is reaching new highs. At a macro level, the changes happening are unprecedented. Virtually all major institutions of power have openly lined up behind the agenda. They are marketing terms to conceal it. Woke, Great Reset, sustainable, social justice, smart, build back better, Green New Deal. No, you haven't. It involves a fundamental transformation of absolutely everything. It is a scheme so massive, so draconian, so ubiquitous that even books could not cover it all. Its advocates are openly saying as much, with the WEF head Klaus Schwab declaring that all aspects of social societies and economies need to be revamped, including our social contract. Even our thinking and behavior will have to dramatically shift, Schwab declared in announcing the Great Reset. Let's see here. ESG, transforming the economy and business. Perhaps nothing represents the Great Reset agenda in economics better than the ongoing global push for ESG investing. The acronym, which stands for Environmental, Social, and Corporate Governance Metrics, is simply the latest marketing slogan to promote a much older idea, a fascist economic model. Under the ESG model, corporations are expected to serve the goals and decrees of the state and the predatory elites rather than the consumers and shareholders, as they have done historically in a free market.
Yeah, and what that happens is it it mystifies exactly what it is you should be doing because you don't know what the benefit is. I know it would benefit our company and if it would benefit our company if we benefit the customers. Okay, we know that. If we can benefit the customers, that makes clear sense. But if the goal then shifts to try to benefit a very nebulous thing, we don't really know we can't really determine what we should be doing or what the benefit would be. And that is the problem. We don't know exactly what the good is. And it opens up a vast swath for manipulation and for manipulation and coercion of misaligning your goals. And so then the customer doesn't benefit. The company's goals don't benefit the customer, have a free exchange. And so their product quality will drop, their profit will drop, the customer will not get a good product, and the goals of the company will be told to be directed towards, you could be told to do many things because it benefits this nebulous cloud over here. And that could be a trump card for everything, anything. And then what happens is you have other powerful people over here using that as the trump card or the lie to control every company. Yeah, that's what would happen. That's what happened, right?
I think so.
Yeah. Okay, good. Well, bookmark everything else you have. This is perfect. Thank you. That was great.
All right. Yeah, I got this. It's in that same magazine, a different article that essentially says the same thing.
Excellent. All right. Thanks, brother. Thanks so much. Talk to you soon.
Here that says, thinking it through, United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres, who led the Socialist International before taking over the UN, is a key booster of the Great Reset. But does it seem wise that Americans give power to a world government mainly made up of totalitarian rulers? So there's the link between socialism and the Great Reset.
Well, they want to bring about socialism because all socialism is just another great reason to control society with a great nebulous guide, which allows the powerful people in control to do whatever they want to benefit them and use the masses to do whatever they want with. That's the answer. Simple. It removes all safeguards, centralizes all power for a powerful few, do anything they want under the guise of doing something good. But the good is so nebulous in a sense, they can use that claim for anything. That's it.
That's exactly what's going on in our world today, whether it's woke, whether it's anything. If you oppose it, well, then you're an evil white person, white supremacist. It doesn't matter if you're black and or a Democrat. That doesn't matter. What matters is if they can call you names, then you're an evil person.
Exactly.
But, the reality is all it takes was for enough people to realize that the whole thing is just a big lie.
It's happening. Way more.
So, all right, good.
Excellent, brother. Thanks so much. This is very good. Talk to you soon. Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye.